What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats as well as some excellent attachment combinations for every gun in Modern Warfare 3. And in today's episode, we're going to be covering the brand new LMG that launched with Season 6. This is the Castoff LSW. And starting it off as always, let's have a look at our damage multipliers, and as we can see here, we have a 5-shot kill potential at any range with this gun to the body. However, it's only guaranteed within the first 2 damage ranges. In the minimum damage range at long ranges, you have to hit all 5 of your shots to the upper torso or arm if you want to maintain that 5-shot kill, otherwise it will take you 6. Then when it comes to headshots, we actually get quite a nice multiplier here, which allows us to get a 4-shot kill in the maximum damage range by only mixing 1 single headshot in with those upper torso shots. So that's actually reasonably easy to do, and that will very noticeably improve your time to kill potential. So if the situation allows for it and you're within that maximum damage range, you definitely want to try to land that headshot mixed in there. As for our rate of fire, this is quite fast for an LMG in this game at least, at 800 rounds per minute. And what this means for our time to kill potential is with that 5-shot kill, which again, we're capable of getting that at any range, we're going to be killing in 300 milliseconds, which is not bad for an LMG. That's actually pretty good for an LMG up close, and at longer ranges, that's a very impressive time to kill that will compete very effectively against most other guns. Now, obviously, you're still going to get outgunned by SMGs up close, unless you can mix that headshot in. If you do this and you get a 4-shot kill, we're actually capable of killing in 225 milliseconds, which is a very solid time to kill in this game. Next up, let's have a look at our range values, and like I said earlier, this is going to be a 5-shot kill at all ranges, or at least it has the potential to get a 5-shot kill at all ranges. However, we're only guaranteed that 5-shot kill to the body out to 43 meters, which is still very impressive. And it is also worth noting that maximum damage range extends just beyond 30 meters, and that's the range where you're able to cut that down to a 4-shot kill with just 1 headshot mixed in. So even though it's a 5-shot kill at all ranges, it's still important to understand what the range drop-off points are. Also, when it comes to our bullet velocity, this is very solid at 800 meters per second. And now let's have a quick look at hardcore game modes, and this gun has a 1-shot kill potential at all ranges. However, in the minimum damage range, it's only a 1-shot kill to the bonus zone, which is the upper torso and arms. It won't be a 1-shot kill to the lower torso or legs. As for our hipfire, our minimum hipfire spread when standing still is just average for LMGs at 3.3 degrees, whereas our maximum hipfire spread is very noticeably better than average for LMGs in this game at 6.5 degrees. And I mean, that's not amazing if you compare it to like an SMG or an assault rifle, for instance, but at least compared to the other LMGs, I would say this kind of excels with hipfire. Now after that, let's have a look at our recoil, which is one of the big downsides of this gun. This has a crazy high magnitude of vertical recoil, and it also tends to zigzag quite a bit as it kicks upward, with some random jumps here or there. So this is not a great recoil pattern, and it's definitely something that holds this gun back pretty significantly as soon as you get beyond like mid-range. So as a result, I would say this is the weakest point of this LMG, and you definitely want to be focusing on some attachments to help you out with that recoil. As for our handling stats, our aim down sight speed is better than average for LMGs at 330 milliseconds, and it's a similar story with our sprint out time. This is better than average for an LMG at 224 milliseconds. And quite surprisingly, when it comes to our reload add time, I was very impressed by the reload speed, considering the fact that this is a 100 round magazine. It only takes 2.5 seconds to reload. Whereas many of the other LMGs with a magazine capacity this large, it's going to take you like 4 to 6 seconds to reload that. And then finally, for the base stats of this gun, let's have a look at our movement speed stats. And our base movement speed, when we're just walking, it's a little below average even for an LMG at 4.4 meters per second, so it's not great there. However, when it comes to our sprint speed and our aim walking speed, these are both just a little bit above average. They're right around the realm of average for an LMG, so nothing that really stands out here. And with that, we can finally get into some excellent attachment combinations I put together for you guys with this gun. And the first one I wanted to share is my accuracy build. And with this one, we're using the T51R billeted brake, the Mitigator X40 heavy barrel, the SL skeletal vertical underbarrel, the Jack glassless optic, and then finally the Weave L7 grip. And with this combination of attachments, you can see our recoil is very significantly improved. I still wouldn't call this a really super accurate LMG or anything, but it's way more accurate than the base version of the gun, and it does allow you to stretch your ranges out a lot more effectively. And when it comes to our aim down sight speed, this is kept at a somewhat reasonable level for an LMG at least, at 356 milliseconds. Our sprint out time is actually surprisingly improved a little bit with this setup at 213 milliseconds. We're only losing 5% to our damage range, which we can absolutely afford with this gun. That's really not going to harm it that much. And it's a similar story with our bullet velocity. We will be losing a little bit in that area, but 768 meters per second is still excellent in the bullet velocity department. And in my eyes, this is just a very solid, balanced accuracy build. Technically, you could make a more accurate version of this gun, but at that point, your handling gets really unreasonable. So I found this is just a nice balanced way to get more accuracy out of it. In saying that though, this build is going to be somewhat limiting. You're really going to have to play it like a proper LMG, like hanging back, trying to pick people off at longer ranges. You can't really get around the map aggressively at all. So that's where my second build comes in. And this is my balanced stealth build. And with this one, we're using the Quartermaster Suppressor, the Bombast T54 Short Barrel, the SL Skeletal Vertical Underbarrel Grip, the Mark III Reflector, and then finally the Broadside Stock. And with this particular combination, while we still have a very high magnitude of vertical recoil that's pretty similar to the base gun, the big things to point out here is we've got a much straighter line as it kicks upward, and there are fewer random jumps and gaps between those shots. So despite what that recoil pattern might look like at first glance, this is actually significantly easier to control than the base recoil of this gun. And the best part about this is we've got very good handling stats. Our aim down sight speed is just 276 milliseconds, which is great for an LMG. Same thing with our sprint out time. This is very solid for an LMG at 182 milliseconds, and our sprint speed is boosted quite drastically by 10%, so you'll really notice that when getting around the map. And to top all of that off, since we're using that Quartermaster Suppressor, we are staying off the radar, so this is a great way to be a bit more aggressive with this gun, and it's just a nice versatile way to use this. Of course, you're not going to be as effective at really long ranges compared to the previous build, but this is a much better all-arounder. Now, of course, I do have one last build to share for you guys, and this currently is by far the best build to use with this gun. Like, there's no reason to even consider the previous ones, at least for as long as this build is currently usable. This is my tack stance build, and it does rely on a currently broken attachment, which is the Bracefire HC grip. I did make a video about this a couple days ago. It has some insane upsides. It allows you to strafe, especially while in tack stance, ridiculously quickly, and I suspect it will be getting fixed at some point in the near future. Who knows? Maybe even by the time this video comes out, that will be fixed. I'll try to make sure I pin a comment once this does get adjusted. But let's go through this setup. So we have that underbarrel, of course. We also have the S37C DL breacher device, the Bombast T54 short barrel, the 1 milliwatt laser box, which does not have a visible laser, and the no stock attachment. With this one, our aim down sight speed is crazy fast at 222 milliseconds, but we're going to be using it in tack stance, so it'll be even faster to get into tack stance. Our sprint out time is also very fast for an LMG at 162 milliseconds, and most importantly, when you're in tack stance, you move faster than your sprint speed with this gun at 5.63 meters per second, and you can boost that even higher if you're using these stalker boots. And that's really the broken part about this, is you can strafe so quickly in gunfights that it makes you such a hard target to hit. I'm sure most of the gameplay you're seeing in the background is going to be with this particular build, or at least a really similar one as I was leveling up. And like I said, as of right now, this is by far the best build that you can use with the Cast-Off LSW. And honestly, even after they fix this underbarrel grip, I'm assuming they're going to be fixing it and making it so you can't strafe quite as crazy fast. Even with that in mind, as long as we're getting the nice tack stance improvements, this is probably still going to be one of the better ways to run this gun. It really does excel in tack stance even without that attachment. So even once it gets fixed, I would definitely encourage you to still stick to trying a tack stance build, because that's what this gun is really designed around. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's gun guide on the Cast-Off LSW LMG. As for my thoughts on this gun, I would say outside of tack stance, it's fine. It's an okay gun. It's interesting. It's unique. There's not many other LMGs that perform quite like it, but it's mainly in tack stance where this gun really shines. And in tack stance, I absolutely love this thing, and I think it was an excellent addition to the game. Now, of course, those are just my thoughts, and I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about the Cast-Off LSW so far? And also, if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes of Gun Guides, I will leave a link to the playlist in the description of the video. If you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.